August is now behind us and we have September to look forward to. But before we look forward, we've got to look back. And man, we have got some cool stuff that we managed to pick up in the month of August. Hey everybody, Gary here with Rock Solid Productions. And normally I don't do pickup videos, but August was so spectacular, I had to share all of this with you. I mean, granted, we already kind of talked about what came in this box here, but we got some more amazing stuff. We got games, we got systems, we got handhelds, and we have to go ahead and talk about them here. What I want to know from you here today, down in the comments, did you get any awesome pickups in the month of August? And if so, what were they? Let's get started. So obviously, the big boy here, the elephant in the room, the Panasonic Q that we have talked about. I will have that link for you right up there. It is in the process right now of repair. Where we're at it? Basically, I have done the 3D printing of the rails, and I have most everything back together. The one thing that I didn't realize when I was 3D printing the rails, you can't use the stock DVD tray. You have to use the 3D printed one. Well, I reached out to a number of people on Twitter, and actually we had one individual who reached out to us and is designing a brand new set of rails and tray, and theoretically, his rails are supposed to work with the stock tray. We're in the process of printing those, and we should have the video showing the repair of this very, very soon. But that's not the only console that we ended up picking up this month. One of the ones that we picked up early on was this here. This is an 8 gig Wii U. And basically what's different about this and the black version, simply the size of the onboard memory. Now this is something that I found locally on Facebook Marketplace for 15 bucks. I couldn't go and let this not be in the collection. This is actually something I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to hack so I have the homebrew channel and other things like that on here. The reason for that, I want to be able to back up my Wii U games onto an external storage device and use it kind of like a video jukebox. It's what I did with my original Wii, and it is still working great to this day. Now, all I got was this for 15 bucks. Which means we had to pick up some other accessories, and we are going to be doing a review and a tutorial walking through what we did to clean this up and complete this and give you a total cost of what we have invested in it. I did also pick up a Wii U gamepad for it, also in white. Now, one thing that I was curious about with this is out of the box, whether or not, and I apologize, I have my back to you, whether or not I could use a Japanese white Wii U gamepad. They're region locked, so you have to use one for the US systems on a US console. I've charged this powered up, it works perfectly. The one thing it doesn't have, the stylus is missing. There's some other things that for both the main system and the gamepad here that I do need to clean up and pick up to complete this. Again, stay tuned. We are going to walk you through the entire process that we are go through in early September on how we went ahead and did that. Our next pickup is actually what is playing behind me, don't you fall. And this is Sonic the Hedgehog, but this is Sonic the Hedgehog for the Sega Master System. And I have to thank our good friend Paul, aka Owazrim. I always screw up how I pronounce your screen name, dude. I'm sorry. Check him out. I'll have him linked down below. I've wanted a copy of Sonic for the Master System for a long time. The problem, the US version, crazy expensive. I actually imported this as a PAL version from the UK. And where Paul helped out is confirming that yes, this does play on US systems. And second of all, it will play at the correct NTSC speed. So it won't play sped up. A lot of times if you play a PAL game on an NTSC system, it does play faster. This plays at the correct speed. So very, very happy to play that. And this is actually playing right now through our JVC XI and our master drive adapter that we covered here on the channel. Now, one thing I did have to point out here, neither Jay over at Square Pegs nor Chris over at Game Dad have a JVC XI or a Panasonic Q. Hey guys, how you doing? In addition, our last main system that we picked up this month is I picked up a red Wii Mini for free. What? Stick with me here. So I had taken a number of games, systems, accessories to the Bloomington Normal Game Con to sell. I shared a booth there with live action games, and there are things that I didn't want anymore, I was trying to sell, they didn't sell. So this was actually at our local disc replay store. I went in and I saw it. They had a price tag of 80 bucks on it. I'm like, you guys hold it for a day for me? I am sure I have 80 bucks worth of trade bait that we can go ahead and throw in here. And sure enough, I did. And the cool thing about this is not only is it the system in really good shape, it comes with a sensor bar, the power supply, but it also comes with the correct red nunchuck and Wii remote, and it is the Wii Motion Plus Wiimote. What we're going to do with this, now, it does kind of suck that it's only composite output. At least I believe it's only composite and that it doesn't do component. It's kind of a bummer. But my understanding is that there is now a hack for this where you can install a Wi-Fi module and an SD card so you can do things like install the homebrew channel. We're hoping we've got those items actually on back order or have email alerts signed up for so we can go ahead and be alerted when they come back in. But for free 99 for us, just trading some old stuff that was sitting here collecting dust anyways, I now have a Wii Mini in the collection. That is a fun thing that I like having variants of consoles in the collection, such as, you know, I have the Super NES, Super NES Junior, Super Famicom Junior. I have the Indigo GameCube, I have the Spice Orange Japanese GameCube, and unlike Game Dad and Jay over at Square Pegs, I have a Panasonic Q.
It's Square Pegs, Gary. I am Jay. The channel is Square Pegs. It's not that hard to remember, dude. Come on.
Okay, Zoomer.
That joke is never going to get old to me. Now, those are it as far as consoles, but that's not it for systems. And this I do actually blame on Jay Stay over at Square Pegs, was he shared recently his love of the NES Game Boy Advance SP, and I had one of these back in the day. I had to sell it when I was going through a divorce at one point in time. I needed to pay bills. Well, Jay got me kind of thinking again. I started scouring eBay, and sure enough, I found this on there, and this is non-working. And talking to the seller, I was actually able, he didn't have a buy it now or a best offer listing when I saw it. Talking to him, he actually offered it to me for a buy it now price. Went through some headaches on his end. He really went above and beyond to help me get this. The way that he described it, it doesn't power on. So, two things. It could be the battery, and the battery is really swollen. I'll show you that in a separate video. But on the Game Boy Advance SP, there is a fuse on here which can frequently blow and cause it to be non-functional, non-operational. Well, I have picked up fuses from Handheld Legend, and we were going to be going through, I'm not going to be modding this, I'm not going to be installing an IPS mod or anything like that. We're simply going to restore it to functionality. But while that's what I'm going to do with this one, I have two other Game Boy Advance SPs that we're going to go ahead and we are going to do that IPS mod. And thanks to the folks over at Extreme Rate, we're also going to do a case swap. Let's take a look at these real quick. And this is actually how we got introduced to the gang over at Handheld Legends, is Extreme Rate sent us these cases to go ahead and do a case swap at. But I wanted to do at the same time is do an IPS mod installation as well. And we actually have two different IPS mods from Handheld Legends that we're going to do. Oh, that's pretty. Look at that green. 8-bit glitch. This is for you with this green. I like that a lot. And it has all the buttons and everything are right here. Very similar to, I have the Spice Orange one I did a number of years ago. So we have the green. I'll put this one. And they also sent us this one here. And this was, yep, that's what I thought. I remember that's what it was. Wood grain. Look at that. That's pretty stinking cool. Really looking forward to doing the mod on both of these. We're going to go through the entire teardown and rebuild process using both of these. Thanks to Mike over at SD. Oh goodness, I'll flash up his eBay store. I know him as Vile Mike. He is part of the nerd community. He actually hooked us up with a broken GBA SP that we're going to install one of these in, and then we actually had one that was broken as well that we were able to get for a very reasonable price. I want to say I paid 10 bucks for it. So thanks again also to the folks from Extreme Rate for sending us these to do the tutorials on. But in addition to those, I mean, I love the NES style GBA. You can see right here. Handheld Legend also had these two guys on the site that I couldn't resist picking up. First up, we have essentially an NES shell. Now, this is slightly different than the stock NES shell for the GBA SP. But I'll be darned if they don't look really, really good. Basically, as you can see here, we have an NES-style shell replacement case for a Game Boy now, or a Game Boy Advance SP. The fact that it says Game Boy here on the cover pretty much is the telltale sign that, yes, this is not original Nintendo equipment, and it has a little pack with all the extra parts and screws and port covers and whatnot that we'll need to replace. So I got the NES version, and you all know I love my imports, so I could not resist when I saw they had a Super Famicom version. Now this one I am especially interested in. Oh, look at the buttons. Look at the buttons. Those are awesome looking. So those will be a separate project. I cannot wait to go ahead and mod those two systems, have another NES, basically GBA SP, and the Super Famicom edition. These are going to look amazing when they are completed. How about some games? Let's talk about some games. I mean, we talked about Sonic back here. I picked up something that most people have never seen in person. I hadn't seen in person until last year at the Pinball Expo, and that is a Sega Pico. Now, thanks to Keith Lee, one of the sellers up there, good friend of our buddy Adam Korek. Thanks, Keith. Thanks, Adam, for just being super cool last year. Got a Sega Pico and got a Winnie the Pooh game for it. Recently, again, on eBay, I did find Mickey's Blast into This Past. Now, we're a Disney family here. We love Mickey Mouse. We're getting ready to go back to the Magic Kingdom in October. But this is basically an edutainment game designed for the Sega Pico. And the wonderful thing about it is this is designed for kids like Ellie, my youngest daughter. It is one of those where it's interactive. It'll play in the book. It'll play on the TV as well. It will help educate along with learn at the same time and have fun. So this is something I'm looking forward to. I mean, you know, kids these days, I've got an iPad, I've got a Fire. Ellie will be able to go, I've got a Sega Pico. Kids, what's a Sega Pico? Sega Pico is pretty dang cool. Next up, now, I talked about this in a YouTube short, Don't You Dare Fall, but when we picked up our Wii U here, one of the things that we've learned from our good buddy MC Murr is that you always hit the eject button on Wii's, Wii U's, PlayStation 3's, PS4's to see if there's an extra game that the seller may not be aware of. It's basic Murkonomics, and MC Murr is an expert on this.
Who, me?
Thanks, Murr. Make sure you check out his channel as well. But when we went ahead and we hit the eject button on the Wii U, there was a game inside. And we're going to set these aside for now. And the game inside the drive, for the Wii U actually, was this here. And that was The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. But it was, obviously since it was in the system, it was just the disc. Well, then I had to go ahead and scour eBay. I did get a case for it. About 15 bucks is what I paid for this. It did come with the manuals as well inside. And it also came with the spot where there is a limited edition audio CD that came along with this. I may pick that up at a later point and time. But basically for 15 bucks, if you consider that I got the game for free with the system, I have the game in case with manual. Pretty good. And well, you know, that's how things can work in your favor. Sometimes, you know, there's a saying, no risk, no reward. Well, this time I took a risk and the reward was not there. I found on eBay a lot of 4 games for the Wii U. It was The Legend of Zelda, Twilight Princess HD. It was The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD. And there were 2 other Minecraft games in there. But the seller was very honest. He couldn't get them to work. They were scratched, they were damaged, and basically he was selling them as is. Now, Adrian over at Live Action Games, supporter of the channel, good friend of my wife's, we tolerate each other. He has basically a disc resurfacing machine. And there have been times when I've taken discs in there to see if he can rescue. Well, we took the copy of Twilight Princess in there along with the copy of Wind Waker. And he ran it through, and ran it through, and and ran it through and ran it through. And the scratch on Twilight Princess was so deep, it would not play no matter what. The odd thing was the disc for Wind Waker looked really clean. Still would not play. So I took a $45 risk, and these did not pay off. So what I'll end up doing is I'll end up selling the case here for Twilight Princess, but I did actually find, I just haven't received it yet, a disc for Wind Waker for about 20 bucks. So I will take this case, put that game in here, hopefully that one works. I wasn't aware that the Wii U was so finicky as far as the conditions of the discs. I never had any issues. I guess it's not a true Blu-ray format that Nintendo used. Imagine that. But it is something that I'll be able to at least use the case for this, sell the case for this, and we will make good from there. But I'm like, you know what? I really like Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. I've got a case for it. Let's see if I can find a loose disc. And I couldn't, but I found a hell of a deal on the game itself. So I did actually end up picking up, and this does work, the Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess HD for about $55. So this game is going for stupid expensive right now. And after loading it into my system to capture footage for this video, I guess I can see why. The game looks beautiful. It really does. Where I am not a huge fan of Wind Waker because I never liked the cell shading, this game I had when the Wii launched. I loved it on the Wii, and on the Wii U, I was really impressed with how good this looked. Now, this was something that you could also get on the GameCube, and I have on the GameCube, so I could even play it on the Japanese Panasonic Q. I told you guys, that joke is never, at least this episode, that joke ain't going away. In addition to that, we did pick up a few games from Japan for not just the Panasonic Q, but even before the Panasonic Q, I've had, thanks to my wife, a Spice Orange Japanese GameCube that plays Japanese GameCube games. And I did pick up Mickey's Disney Adventure, I think is what this is called. I will flash the name on screen right now. Not knowing a ton about it, like I mentioned earlier, we are a Disney family. Being a Hudson Soft game, I knew the potential of this being really, really good was pretty high. I've played a little bit of it. I'm actually really impressed with how good it looks, how good it sounds, and how good it plays. So I'm definitely looking forward to spending more time with Mickey and Minnie on the Panasonic Q, the GameCube. This was a $1 pickup, plus $20 shipping and handling. And this is the Nintendo Puzzle Collection for the GameCube, and it is something I wish we would have gotten here in the States. It is an amazing collection of games. It basically includes Panel to Pond, which I think we got here as Tetris Attack, Yoshi no Cookie, Yoshi's Cookie, and Dr. Mario. But in addition to that, it also includes a link cable so that you can go ahead and use your Game Boy Advance SP as a controller on these games. Now, the inside box, or the outside box looks great. The inside box, the slipcover for the game, it's got a pretty significant tear to it. But the manual looks decent, the case looks decent, the game looks great, and it plays wonderfully. It's one of those where when I was capturing footage here for Panel to Pond, I love that game. It is so good, and the 3D, I'd actually never played the 3D version of it before, but this is absolutely something that if you have a Japanese GameCube or a way to play Japanese GameCube games on your system, this is definitely worth an investment and something I really wish that we would have gotten here in the States. Next up, our good friends over at VGNY Soft sent us 3 new games for our Sega Dreamcast. Shadow Gangs is an arcade-style ninja action game. Become the legendary master of the Crimson Ninja Order and save your family from the Shadow Force crime syndicate in the side-scrolling action game Shadow Gangs. Playing the role of Dan the Ninja Master, you'll utilize the powers of transformation and ninja arts to slice your way through 15 levels with 6 unique bosses. Your family and heritage are on the line in this gorgeous, hand-drawn, and traditionally animated adventure. Features HD sprites and background art. Also has 15 levels plus a special bonus stage, 3 difficulty levels, up to 6 parallax scrolling layers, 480p, and VGA support. Help Hermes chase down the escaped chicken in this action-packed platforming adventure. Then perhaps finally Hermes can prepare his unforgettable barbecue grilled feast. Yummy! Bloody hell, that chicken sure runs fast. Hermes is a classic run-and-jump platformer with plenty of off-color gags that will keep you in stitches. With gorgeous handcrafted pixel art, you'll assist in the rampage against this foul, all in the name of a delectable dinner. Those easily offended by crude and dirty humor, not to mention vegans, should turn and run now. Or perhaps you'll just have a good laugh. Bon appetit! It features a handcrafted classic pixel art, bangin' chiptune soundtrack, 32 levels with hidden warp zones, high scoreboards, and insane boss battles. Welcome to Paradise, Arizona. They're out to get you. Or are they? It doesn't matter. You don't have time to think, only time to kill. Take control of the Postal Dude in his infamous first outing. Postal is an isometric shooter filled to the brim with fast-paced, explosive action. Blast, maim, and firebomb your way through 17 unsuspecting locales from a country small town to a heavily guarded military complex. Don't get too lazy. This killing spree is anything but senseless. Out here, strategy is key and the locals are packing. It features 17 dynamic levels, beautiful hand-painted backgrounds, couch co-op mode with up to 4 players, controller, twin stick, and VMU support, runs at a blazing 60 FPS, so this should look absolutely gorgeous. But that's not all from VGNY Soft this month, as we also have gotten an amazing shoot 'em up, Andrew Donos 2. Let's take a closer look. Now this is one I am really looking forward to, as VGNY Soft and Pixel Heart are happy to bring you another classically inspired physical release for the Switch. Paying homage to its Neo Geo roots, this shmup returns to continue the story of its predecessor that was released way back in 1992. Some 28 years have passed since the Earth Defense deployed Yellow Cherry and Red Fox to stop the imminent invasion from an unknown alien race. 52 light years away, on the edge of our galaxy, the threat has reared its ugly head again, and this time they mean business. There's just one thing to do: dust off the finest Earth Defense ships ever made and send the alien scum packing. It's apparent that these relics from a wartime that were forgotten had seen better days, and only one ship, the Yellow Cherry, could be saved using parts from Red Fox, which was critically damaged in the war of the past. It features beautiful arcade-style visuals, seamlessly transitions from battles in outer space to low orbit and eventually to underwater levels, an incredible original soundtrack. This looks like a game I am absolutely going to love. Now, I have spent some time playing this already, as you can see from the captured footage. This game is awesome. If you love Area 51, if you love side-scrolling shmups, this is hard enough, but still a hell of a lot of fun. I have really enjoyed playing this so far, something you should definitely check out. Now, we also have 2 other games here for the Switch. The first one here is Tandem, A Tale of Shadows, and we have the Magical Box Edition from Funstock over in the UK. So here's the collector's box of Tandem, A Tale of Shadows, Magical Box Edition. And again, this is available through Funstock. I will have a link down below where you can check that out. Let's go ahead and open this and break the seal. Oh, look at that figurine. That's pretty stinking neat. Look at the detail that's gone into that. At first, looking at the leggings, I almost thought it could have been a bauble, but it's not. Very, very neat. Tandem, A Tale of Shadows redefines the puzzle platformer genre with unique gameplay and exceptional aesthetics. Help Emma and the teddy bear Fenton solve the mystery of the disappearance of the famous magician Thomas Kane. But yeah, very neat collector's set available through Funstock. The attention to detail and everything that has gone into this actually looks really cool and something I will absolutely enjoy having on display next to my Panasonic Q here in my collection. It's never getting old. One final pickup that we had this month for the Switch, and that was actually just today, July the 31st. We stopped by Live Action Games yet again because I just needed to be abused by Adrian, I guess. He wasn't there, so yay! But we did pick up TMNT, the Cowabunga collection. And like everybody's talking about this game right now. And until I saw John Riggs' video, hey John, on this, I was actually incorrect in an assumption. My thought was this was Shredder's Revenge, and 2 different games just announced at about the same time. This includes the games from the NES, the Famicom, the arcade, the Super NES, Super Famicom, Sega Genesis, Sega Mega Drive, Game Boy, Game Boy Color, I think there's Game Boy Advance. There's a ton of games on here. And this is one of those things, if you love side-scrolling beat-em-ups, like, not just TMNT, Double Dragon, Final Fight, Streets of Rage, this is a game that you will want in your collection. Now, this was available for the Switch, PS4, PS5. I decided to go with the Switch version just because I could take it with me portably, and thinking 8-bit, 16-bit games going from the Switch to the PS5, same price, but I didn't think that I was going to really see much of a graphical difference. So, haven't opened it yet. Looking forward to spending some time with our good friends down in the sewers. Couple minor things. Wow, that's a lot. I told you, August was an amazing month for us. Couple additional things that we did pick up. I picked up this here. This is essentially a Wii SD memory card adapter is what it's being called. It's basically, it allows you to use a standard size SD card with a memory card for the GameCube. I'm actually going to try to get the SD to SP2 adapter working so that I can actually back up my physical games digitally. I'm not going to use it for piracy, but if I can do, like, I've got the homebrew channel on my Wii and an external hard drive that I back all my games up to. That way I can just go ahead and load the game and save the disc. So keep an eye out. We are going to be doing more, and we may be doing something with Swiss as well. Now, I have also ordered, just hasn't gotten here yet, an action replay disc. So I'm looking to use this, hopefully, with that. I haven't messed around with any of that before. If you've done something like that, please let me know in the comments. If you've got any tips and tricks to suggest, my ears are open. I am looking for additional guidance on there. I think that pretty much does it, except for one minor thing here that I did want to talk about. New microphones. Now, some of my recent videos, I've noticed my audio has sounded terrible. And part of the reason for that has been my camera. Specifically, the microphone attenuator that's built into it. I use a Canon T7i to shoot stuff like this. And the attenuator in it just isn't that good. And I've been playing around with volume levels on the mics. The mic that I had before, the irritating thing is it had, let me show you. It had this adapter here, and basically it's an 1/8 to 1/4 inch adapter. And it plugged into the side of my camera, and it kind of hung down. And sometimes I would not get very good contact with this. Sometimes I would get excessive noise, like RF noise and other things like that coming through it. Sometimes it wouldn't record audio whatsoever. This is only about $30 off of Amazon. What I've been trying to do is eliminate the microphone hiss and just some of the other microphone issues I have had with the setup that I've been using. The video that we recently posted on the Rockware video soundbar, this guy here, was the first episode I used with this microphone setup, and I was really happy with it. Let me know what you think of the audio moving forward. Does this sound better? I think it does overall. But man, we have so much cool stuff that we have picked up here in the month of August 2022. I want to know from you, what is your favorite pickup that we've gotten? And we're not going to talk about the Q because that's going to win by a landslide. But above and beyond that, out of everything else that we got, what was your favorite thing that you saw that we picked up this month? We have a lot of really cool projects coming forward. Like I said, we're going to do the completion on the Wii U here. We're going to try to do the SD card and the Wi-Fi mod on the Wii Mini. We're going to do the case swaps on the GBAs. We're going to replace the fuses in the GBAs. We are actually going to replace the rails on the Panasonic Q. There's a lot of things that we're looking forward to in the future. Now, if that's something you want to keep the most up to date on, do me a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button and that bell notification. That way, when I do post those videos, you're kept informed and up to date. And if you like what you saw here, do me a favor. You can always become a channel member here to help support the channel and what we are doing moving forward. So we can do things like buy replacement GBA SPs, buy Panasonic Qs, so we can bring you more and better content, so we can buy new microphones. And I do want to thank all of our existing Patreon supporters and channel members. And if you don't want to do that, and you just want to do a one-time contribution to the channel, you can always leave a super thanks. Now, if you want to check out some of the YouTube shorts that we've done and other videos that we've done talking about the Panasonic Q, the Wii U, the GBA SP, our import collections, and more, those videos are coming up for you right now. Thank you so much for watching this episode. If you want to help support Rock Solid Productions and be a part of our community, there's a number of different ways you can do so. First and foremost, join us over on our Patreon page or become a channel member here on YouTube. By joining through either one of those methods, you get early access to just about all of our video content, exclusive content, and a whole lot more. We also give you shout outs at the end of each and every one of our videos. You can also pick up some awesome Rock Solid Productions swag. We've got t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, and more available through our Teespring store on screen right now too. You can also pick up some of our awesome 3D printed cartridge stands, Amiibo holders, Nintendo DS holders, and more by visiting our 3D printer store on screen right now as well. Links for everything will be down below in a pinned comment. If you want to stay up to date with everything we have going on here at Rock Solid Productions, make sure that you're following us on the different social media networks. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/RockSolidProductions, Instagram at instagram.com/RockSolidProductionsGK, and Twitter at RockSolidStudios. If you're looking to pick this and other retro and modern gaming accessories up, make sure that you head on over to CastlemaniaGames.com. He has a feature over there called Castle Cash, where the more you spend, the more you earn towards future purchases, and Castle Cash is just like cash. He also offers convenient payment plans for more expensive items over $50. Finally, make sure that you use promo code ROCKSOLID10 when you're shopping at CastlemaniaGames.com, as it can save you up to 10% on most items on the website. Again, thank you for watching this episode, and I cannot wait to see you again soon.